We could, and yeah, so we do social and cultural enrichment activities as well that we'll talk about a little bit more, but those are the main services that we have with the program. Next one. Perfect. Okay, so to apply to NextUp, they can do the EOPS application. The application for EOPS has on there like the questions about if you were ever in foster care. So we do look at that to recruit students. But honestly, we are a very high touch program. So if you have a referral or anyone in the community does, we will work with them and get them into the program as well. So they don't have to do the EOPS application to be onboarded. That's just something that we can use as a starting off point. To be eligible, you do have to be a California resident or a B540 student, and you have to submit a financial aid application. More again, just so that way we can give them grants. If they don't have a financial aid application on file, we can't give them a grant. But the main eligibility component is you have to have been in foster care on or after your 13th birthday, and you have to be under the age of 26 when you're getting onboarded. So
anyone who's like, oh, I was 12 when I went in for the count. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. So we've had some students that when we ask for a dependency letter, and in the letter it states that they were in it up until the age of 12. They were like 1 month away from being 13 and in care. With that wouldn't work.
What's the, and I don't know, you know, what's the particular reason for that?
I would say from what I've heard, it's just that 13 and over is when it might be a little bit more impactful. So let's just say they were in it when they were 3, and then they end up getting adopted, or they get reunified with their parent. They might feel a bit more well-adjusted than those that are still in care later on in life. But yeah. So yeah, there's that. We kind of already talked about the services and resources, but yeah, that's our main criteria is you have to have been in foster care 13 or over and be under the age of 26. We'll help them get enrolled. So even if they're not enrolled yet, we will do all of that with them too. So our community partners, we work with a lot of different places in the community, so we are pretty well connected. And again, that's where we get some of our referrals. I go to the Dream Center, or some of my colleagues help out as well. But at the Dream Center, it's a one-stop shop for current or former foster youth. They have like Department of Human Services there, social workers. So it's a lot of different partners that go there. And they do have like showers and laundry for the students. So it's a really good help for them. But basically, we're there, and that's how we get students. We also work with Bakersfield Angels, which is a mentoring program for foster youth. We partner with Kern County Department of Human Services, the Child Care Center, the Kern High School District 2, and Covenant Coffee. So that one is basically a coffee shop where they hire former or current foster youth to work and gain those valuable life skills of like, you know, having a job and all that. So we work with all of these places to make sure we are helping out the students that are going to school. And then, like I said, we're at the Dream Center. So we're there on Thursdays from 10 to 4:30, basically until they close. So they stop letting in students at 4:30. So we're there until they close, and it's walk-in basis, so we don't do appointments. So that means we're there waiting for the students to come in. Usually we do get a good amount of students every time that we go, but we'll help them with financial aid, with applying to BC, registering for classes, all of that.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cover the Chafee. So the Chafee grant is, students are eligible for the Chafee grants if they were in foster care between the ages of 16 and 18. All right, so they have to at least be in foster care 1 year during that time period for them to be eligible. Oftentimes students can qualify up to $5,000 per year. It can be used for childcare, transportation, rent. Oftentimes, those incoming students may not qualify for this because they try to give priority to the students that are continuing already and have that grant, so they can, like, you know, help them out to finish their education, and then if there's funding leftovers, they can go ahead and potentially be awarded. The application is online. They just need to submit. They have a few questions. They just go ahead and submit it, and then if selected, they'll go ahead and be notified. Right? Yes. All right. Participate in recruitment. So we do participate in recruitment. We're always out here in the fall trying to recruit students recruit students who are also, college night, is that what it's called?
Yeah, college, KPCD, something, college night, yeah.
College night, so we're also at college night promoting our program just in case students know like, oh, I'm going to BC already, and then like, hey, let's begin that process, right? So we do get invited by the community, even here on campus, so we try to make sure we participate as much as possible, trying to recruit our students' number. Workshops and activities, so we offer a variety of different workshops. As you can see, sometimes we do like a Thanksgiving basket for them, like, since the holidays are coming up, like when the holidays are coming up, and sometimes campus is closed, and sometimes they depend on our pantry or just our meal voucher. So we do try to give them something to get them through the holiday break, right? We also have presentations where we need to do like workshops where we try to help them with resume, cover letter, mid-semester check-in. What other workshops do you offer?
We try to do some fun ones too. So like Armando said, the Thanksgiving one, but recently we did like a paint night. So we had them painting. We do a lot of check-ins. So I think sometimes we have themes, and I'd say it's like half and half, but a lot of the times we want to just see how they're doing. So we won't make them come in at a certain time. Like we'll say, come in from 11 to 1. And anytime from 11 to 1, we can come in and eat, talk, whatever you have questions or concerns about. But yeah, those are our main kind of workshops we do.
We also have a college trip. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there it is. Next slide, please. Okay, so we do have campus field trips where we do take a group of students to visit these campuses, get them familiar with the admissions process. They get a tour. They get to hear about other additional resources that they're able to, participate and get used when they're students there. So far, we visited Santa Barbara, Channel Islands, Low, Northridge, Bakersfield, Dominguez Hill, the USC.
Yeah, UCLA.
UCLA. Yeah, so, we're trying to expand, branch out. We understand sometimes students just want to stay local, but we try to promote like, these are the schools out. And this is all paid for. Students don't have to pay for anything. They get a meal, a per diem for lunch and dinner. And we also try to have some fun activities there, for them to get to socialize and get to know other people too, other students.
Yes, and we'll try to meet with like the foster youth organization on that campus too. So that way they get connected to the program they could be part of if they went to that campus.
Yes, and then we have pictures of students visiting UCLA. And then pretty much this is the program contact information, our phone number, email, link to virtual lobby. We are in person. Our spring hours are Monday to Thursday, 7:30 to 5:30, and Fridays from 8 to 12. Yeah, and then this is Maria Lara, because she's the lead. Contact information. Do you have questions for us? Because that's pretty much everything.
After that, we have like some of the links that we talked about. So the financial aid applications, the Chafee grant. So a lot of financial aid we do with the students, right? To make sure they know, because even then, I feel like it's confusing for some of us. So it's like for them, it must be tough. But yeah, any questions?
Well, I want to collaborate, really. Like I mentioned, we have a juvenile justice grant, and that's going to take us out to 2029. This is the first one of its kind from the chancellor's office, and we're one of 44 colleges in California that received it, and it's geared towards operating in juvenile hall facilities and continuing in school. And so, but that has a limit too, even up to 23. So this is potential for those who are going to age out of that group pretty soon, or those who are just here a little longer.
Right.
And so I think that's awesome. And we definitely want to connect. I'm in the process of hiring a program manager. We finally got through first level interview. So it's sooner than later, but no, I definitely want them to connect on the next, but we just haven't had like the capacity.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So if you all, once you get your program manager, hopefully soon, they can always reach out to the NextUp email too, or myself. We have a program manager as well, so I know they could end up collaborating and setting up a meeting for us. So either my NextUp at Bakersfield College email works, or my personal one, and then I can have a connect too. But yeah, it would definitely be a good resource to take advantage of.
If we were referring you out to like the community, would the NextUp be the best?
Yeah, I'd say NextUp is always the good one. No, sometimes it's like, why not? It's easier. But yeah, so that's really it. I think it's a program that we've had for a while. So we've been up and running since 2018. So I feel like we've established ourselves within, a certain organization. So yeah. But yeah, we might just end up doing the whole presentation again, but do you have any other questions?
No, you guys are pretty clear about it, so I'm super excited to learn more.
Okay. Hi, David. Are you here for the next up presentation?
No, I was here for this one. I got busy doing something else.
So
Sorry about that.
were you here for the next up one?
What is the next one?
Sorry, next up is the program that we were sharing. So it's for current or former foster youth. Is that the one that you were thinking?
Yeah,
So we can go back and go over it. Okay. So we'll go ahead and go over the presentation. We just did it in person, so don't worry, we could do it again. All good. It's pretty short, so it's about 10 to 15 minutes. So my name is Maria. I'm one of the advisors for the Next Up program. And my colleague here is here as well presenting.
Yeah. Hi, David. Nice to meet you. My name's Armando. I'm one of the educational advisors for UPS, and I support NextUp as well.
oh, good.
So here's a little overview about Next Up. So EOPS is the big umbrella program, and Next Up is underneath it, as well as Care Cal Work. So those are programs for parenting students, and Next Up is for current and former foster youth. So we are all basically connected in some way. And when we onboard our Next Up students, we get them into EOPS and really as many programs as we can. So to go into a little bit more detail about what we offer, we do meet with our students on a regular basis. And we do have a lot of great services like meal vouchers. So those are $25 gift cards that we give to our students every 2 weeks when they're enrolled in classes, again, just to help them get by. We have transportation assistance, which comes in the form of bus passes and parking permits. So they do not have to pay for a parking permit if they drive. And then they get a book grant, as long as they're eligible, right? So they don't just get it automatically when they join our program. They have to meet with our counselors first. They are eligible for priority registration. We'll assist them with statements or recommendations, as well as a free cap and gown when they're ready to graduate. We do give them school supplies as well. So that comes with backpack, notebooks, pen, pencils, whatever they may need. We do have a lounge area as well. So that area, they have a fridge and a microwave that is there for them to use, as well as food in there. So we'll do like Uncrustables, Hot Pockets. So, just things that they can eat in between classes. We also have extra tutoring for them. So they get 2 hours of tutoring instead of the 1. And we also have some activities that they do as well that we'll talk more about as well. So those are the services. And here is the eligibility. So to be part of Next Up, they have to have been in foster care on or after their 13th birthday, at least 1 day. So even if they were in foster care just on their 13th birthday, they can be eligible for the program. And they do have to be under the age of 26 when they get onboarded. I would say, just know that if you ever come across a student that is disclosing to you that they were in foster care, don't worry about having to do this eligibility check with them. I'll give you our contact information at the end of the slides. And just know if someone ever discloses that to you, right, that they were in foster care, feel free to just refer them our way and we can do the eligibility check. This is more just for you all to know more about, but yeah, we definitely don't expect you to do the eligibility appointment. We go ahead and meet with them, discuss their eligibility, and if they're not eligible, we'll refer them to other programs as well. So if you ever encounter a student, just feel free to refer them our way.
And so there would be no way for me to know other than if they self-referred.
Yeah, exactly. So if they ever self-report, feel free to refer them our way.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we do partner with a lot of other places in the community. So for example, the Dream Center is a one-stop hub for our current and former foster youth that reside in Bakersfield. And we offer office hours there. We work with Bakersfield Angels, which is a mentoring program for foster youth, as well as the Kern County Department of Human Services, our Child Care Center at BC, also the Kern High School District and Covenant Coffee. So that is a organization that hires current or former foster youth to work at the coffee shop and basically give them some valuable, you know, like job skills. So we try to partner with these places so that way when they enter BC, they are already getting the support that they need. But again, that may not always happen. So we try to, you know, get referrals where we can as well. And like I said, we are at the Dream Center on Thursdays from 10 to 4:30. So as long as they're open, we stay there. And we'll do walk-ins, so we'll help them with their classes if they need it, like if they're not sure how to look at their Canvas or they're not sure how to do assignments. Sometimes a lot of them may struggle with those things, so we'll do that. We'll help them apply to BC, do financial aid. So basically anything they may need help with in terms of college, we will do for them too. And then I'm gonna pass it on to Armando.
So I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you about the Chafee grant, David. So pretty much the Chafee grant is a grant that's available for our former foster youth that were in foster care between the ages of 16 to 18 and have financial need. They need to be at least in foster care, one of those for during that time period, or at least for one day. The grant amount is $5,000 per academic year. And funds can be used for childcare, transportation, and rent. Oftentimes, the Chafee grant, it does prioritize continuing students first because they want to go ahead and assist the student complete their college degree. We do sometimes see the students that are onboarded to our program and are new to college that are former foster youth get the grant, but again, it's a hit and miss. So we always encourage students to go ahead and apply. We always help them through the application process. So like mentioned earlier, we do participate in recruitment. We try to get as many students as possible from the community or just bring awareness to the community so they can refer students to us. So we participate in community events like the college night, where high school students get to visit prospective colleges or interested to transfer and all that. So the colleges that are out there. And we also do a lot of recruitment here locally at Bakersfield College. We hold activities for our students. So in the picture that you see, sometimes we host activities where we give them food, like just to do check-ins to see how they're doing, see if they need any additional like academic resources, personal. We check in our students frequently because we understand that they're a population that is in need at times, and sometimes they're forgotten. So we do our best to make sure that we notice them and we let them know that we're here. We also hold workshops where we try to help them with resume building, like, renewing FAFSA, just to give them more skills so they can go out into the world and be more successful. And like mentioned, we do mid-semester check-ins just to check how they're doing overall. Anything I missed?
No, that's
Okay. And then we also have like campus field trips. So we take a group of students to visit potential campuses that they might be transferring to. So far, we visited UC Santa Barbara, Channel Islands, Cal Poly Sloan, Northridge, Bakersfield, Dominguez Hill, USC, UCLA. Again, we connect with those campuses. We try to we collaborate with the different resources and departments at the prospective university, so they also can hear about the resources available, the admissions requirement, and also, we have NextUp here at the community college, but Guardian Scholars is like a program at UC and or CSU. So we try to make sure that they're aware of what resources they provide and their criteria to be admitted. Here's a picture of our students here visiting UCLA. And then our program contact information pretty much is our phone number, our emails, Bakersfield, EOPS at Bakersfield College. We do have a NextUp. It's going to be coming up in the next slide. But you can also reach us through it at the EOPS email, our virtual lobby. We are in person. And our spring hours are Monday to Thursday, 7:30 to 5:30 and 8 to 12.
And yeah, so what I like how I mentioned, if you ever have a student that self-reports, feel free to reach out to our NextUp email. Even if you want a presentation for your students, we are very open to collaborating and, going in 5 minutes of the class if you would want us to talk about the programs even. So we're under EOPS, like I said, right? So if you wanted a joint, a quick little spiel about some programs that students can benefit from, we'd be more than happy to do that for you and your classes. So that is our NextUp email. And if a student, wants to specifically reach out to an advisor, we check both emails, obviously my own and the NextUp one too. But yeah, if you want to reach out to the NextUp department email, that's there, and we check that very regularly. But yeah, that's pretty much our spiel for the NextUp program. Any questions or things that you wanted to learn more about?
No, that's it. I appreciate you taking your extra time there.
Of course.
Hope you have a good day.
Okay, you too.